And it's a good evening from me to you guys. How are you doing today? Welcome to another time with Bree. It is so good to have you with me here today. Today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic that I really is a big help to me because on Wednesdays I tend to focus on this topic as a reminder, as a way of keeping myself healthy. And it's about how to stay present and not lose yourself in crisis. So, my focus on Wednesdays is about being present. But today I'm going to focus on how not to lose yourself in crisis by staying present. So, crisis is something that we all experience at some point in time. Pressure will rise, emotions will intensify, and uncertainty can shake your foundations. It's easy to disconnect from yourself during those times. And what does that disconnect look like? It looks like you remain functional, you remain responsible, but internally you're off. You've drifted, you've disconnected, you've shut down, whatever that disconnect looks like for you. So I thought we could explore about how, at least 3 ways of how we can stay present without losing ourselves. And for me, what I found beneficial and what helps is really staying connected to yourself, staying attuned, and staying aligned with your vision and your values. So that basically you're going to stay steady, you're going to stay grounded, and remain whole as you. Apparently, well, I'll come to this. I was going to talk about breathing, but we'll come to this. So, why? Why is it that we need to stay connected? Because staying connected actually means that you don't abandon yourself or your inner experience to manage external crisis. If you're someone who's learned the pattern of disengaging or disconnecting from yourself, you tend to abandon yourself to manage external chaos. And what that does is it silences you, it silences your needs, it silences, it dishonors you in a way. And so staying connected to you and yourself is making sure that you're fully present. That means you don't silence your needs, you're present, you're aware of your emotional state, and you're honoring yourself and your limits and your needs. Just like you want to honor everybody else. So you get to honor you too in those situations. And staying attuned is really just about being emotionally aware and exercising regulation. Emotions are the thing that will derail us, most of us, especially if we haven't developed the skills of emotional regulation. It's just important for us to learn how to notice and manage our emotions so we can actually manage our own nervous system. So feeling your emotions without drowning in them is going to be very important as part of your attunement, and so that you can respond instead of react. And what that looks like is really getting a hang of our breathing. In other words, regaining control of our breathing. Apparently, research says that when we're in crisis, we do what we call shallow breathing. So we don't breathe deeply, and sometimes we actually hold our breath. So returning to, choosing to actually breathe deeply and slowly, where you slow your breath, is a form of you regaining control. And it allows you to really listen to your emotions, what your emotions are saying and telling you. Because yes, we don't want to be governed by emotions, but the way to manage them is to be attentive to them. You don't manage emotions by ignoring them. That's the worst thing you can do. You manage emotions by attending to them and meeting those needs and taking care of yourself in that way. And the last thing is staying aligned. Alignment simply means your decisions We know that your decisions will reflect your values. So you get to act from a place of identity rather than fear, and to protect your long-term vision. This way, you don't abandon your boundaries, you don't compromise your integrity under pressure, and you stay rooted in who you are becoming. Amazing. I love that. Okay, so let's look at those three things in practicality. What does that look like? Um, staying connected. So that's first thing is regulate. Um, Crisis can pull you, especially your mind, into catastrophic thinking. So we want to make sure that we are addressing any challenging that catastrophic thinking, and taking control of your breathing. So 3 deep breaths, slow breaths, because that is intentional. It's regaining control. Feel your feet on the ground. And you can do some self-soothing here, self-talk or affirmations or things that remind you of the truth of who you are. For example, I'm safe in this moment. It's safe to be me. It's safe to be seen. It's safe for me to be heard. I have control of myself. So things like that. And why is it that you've got to regulate first? You have to regulate first and give clarity second, because you can't really align from a place of panic. You have to regain control, regulate, and then align. That is part of alignment, I guess. So, number 2, you name what's happening internally, because we know that unprocessed emotions hijack identity. It's amazing the stuff that comes into your mind when you're in that place of pressure. I mean, you start thinking things that you don't normally think. Um, and a lot of them can be untrue, because our mind doesn't actually know the truth about what's going on. We are the ones who are able to interpret. Our mind, remember, it's a container of information and historical information. It doesn't know the future. It doesn't know, it knows the past, but it doesn't know really what's going on right now. It's just present. And the more present you are, the more you can interpret what is actually going on, which helps our mind, which tends to want to go backwards to history. So staying present, staying focused is about helping your mind to do so. And the way you can do that is to ask yourself in the present, what am I feeling? What do I need right now? And what fear is driving my reaction? When you name that, you can contain it. This is how you stay attuned instead of being reactive. And reactive usually has to do with your mind going to play history and what's happened before, and the fears that you have of what if this happens, what if that. Well, all that is history, because in the moment you have to focus on what's actually happening in the moment. That's why we can challenge our mind, question our mind, and if there are thoughts of, oh, this could happen, or what if this happened, what if that. Well, you can use questions like, what is the evidence of that happening? Where is the evidence that that's actually happening? And which brings your mind back into the present, out of our conditioning. Okay, and then the last thing is reconnecting with your core identity. So in crisis, you can ask yourself things like, what do I want to be? Who do I want to be in this moment? Basically, it's who you are choosing to be. We're all growing into something. We're all becoming. And when I say who you want to be, it doesn't mean you get to change from who you are. It's how you actually want to be. It's how you want to behave. How do I choose to respond? What response aligns with my future self, or the self that I'm growing into? What action protects my peace? Those kind of questions. Even one line choice stabilizes your nervous system. So when you're coming into alignment with what you're really intending, who you're really becoming, that alignment restores power. How? For example, it restores peace. And we know peace is power. Peace is power. So when alignment actually restores power, because you come into your authority, you come into your power. So the reality is you don't have to disappear to survive hard times. We don't have to disconnect. We don't have to hide. We don't have to shut down. You can stay present. You can stay peaceful. You can stay you. But it's a matter of practicing to do so. Practicing and practicing and practicing staying present, and practicing staying connected, and practicing staying attuned, and practicing staying aligned. That way, you get to stay present and stay as you, not your reactions, not your past, not your ego, not your drama, just you. All right. Well, thank you so much. That helped me. uh, More, I'm sure. I feel like it helped me more than it's helping anybody else, because I need this reminder regularly. And so, thank you so much for sharing this space with me this evening. I hope that's been helpful for you. Well, enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a good night wherever you are, and good morning for those across the world who are in a different time zone. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you. Bye bye for now.